It's still morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to March. We're almost finished with the first quarter of the year. Only, what, 29 days till Easter. Get your candy bought and don't give any to me. Remember, I can't have sugar in 90% of its forms, okay? You're not doing me any favors. And from my wife, please stop giving my husband food and telling him it's for Kiri and me. Okay. Apparently, she thinks, and rightly so, that it's too tempting for me, and it gets a little fussy. So, anywho, here we are. And for those of you that are asking, yes, I'm trying to lose some of the weight that I gained from being a Christiana. I mean, you guys are lovely cooks. I love you to death. It's great. But this is something I need help with. Okay. So, I'm trying to do no sugar and low carb. So this coming Wednesday, when you're having the potato bar, I will be eating the chili, not the potato. Okay. Sorry, guys, but that's the way it has to be. And there hasn't a church I haven't been at where there isn't somebody that doesn't get the message. I'm hopeful that someday a congregation will get the message. All right. And when I say I need help, everybody needs help with something, correct? All right. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of honesty. All right. And the worst thing you can say to someone is, well, just stop. Exercise some willpower. That's like saying to somebody, have you thought about praying about it? No. Okay. I'm going to be, when somebody comes to me and says, I need help with this, if I can't personally, I go out of my way to try to find someone who can, because I know what an effort it is to say, I need help. And please don't write this off when somebody asks. This is God asking you to utilize your gifts, and somebody values you enough to think you have something to offer. So don't blow them off, okay? They legitimately need help. Now, pastors have the additional problem of sometimes members don't take them seriously when they say, I need help, okay? You've come on, you're a pastor, you've got this. Well, boy, if that were the case, all pastors would be perfect. And if you're over 10 years old, you know that pastors are not perfect. All right, folks, daily text. Psalm 63:7. You have been my help, and in the shadow of your wings I sing for joy. Good theme. Continuing on. We cannot survive this world without the protection of God. One of the gifts, in addition to redemption, is strength, help, aid for living in this world. So God calls us home. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. The world, the devil, and our flesh. That's who. But some people, like a hurt puppy or somebody who doesn't have all the facts, turns on the very person trying to assist them. Okay, so and you only have to be burnt once in both directions. Okay, relying on somebody that never meant to help is a blow, and it's disappointing and hurtful. Okay, or oh golly, excuse me. The opposite is also true. The inverse. Okay. Whatever I was saying when I yawned, it went right out of my head. Okay. What's the point here? Putting false hope in something that cannot help us, or refusing to ask God for help when we need it and trying to jump out ahead of it. Let's pray. Mighty God, I lift up my voice with gratitude and relief. You have my back. I am sorry when I forsake the refuge of your wings and charge headlong back into danger. Keep me centered in you. Let me sing for others so that they may also know the refuge of your grace that is always for us. When a barn is on fire, because that's where horses live, okay, they think that even though the barn is burning down around them, that that's their safe place. And when you're trying to get horses out of a burning barn, they will fight you. And if you drop your guard, they will run back into a burning barn. That's an animal. You're created in the image of God. You should know better. But by golly, we do exactly the same thing, don't we? We run back to something that is thoroughly destructive for us. We run away from God, or, oh, I got this. All right. And you don't, folks. Come on. Ugh. All right. C.S. Lewis, March 1st, From Mere Christianity. This one's pretty deep. C.S. Lewis is discussing the problem of morality. Okay. And he talks about humanity kind of messing things up. Either separation, where there should be union, interference and collision, where people need to stay in their own lane, or internal strife, crossed wires, lack of wiring. All right. And then he goes into the example of a formation of vessels trying to, let's say, cross the Atlantic. Okay. If they stay in formation and they're all in good repair, you hit where you're supposed to hit. Okay. If you know where you're going. That's his point. If ships keep running into each other, eventually they're going to break down and they're not going to be seaworthy. So, or if they were not checked out in advance, they're not going to be seaworthy. And they're going to get in the way of the other ships. Okay? And then you have to have a clear-cut idea and route of where you're going. And he says, however well the fleet is sailed, its voyage will be a failure if it was meant to reach New York and ended up in Calcutta. So, if you have, your head's right with God, your internal stuff is right with God, but you're not following God. And I don't know how that could be, but okay. You don't understand the instructions. You're going to end up somewhere where you don't want to be or where you belong. So, um, he's talking, C.S. Lewis is talking about like spiritual and emotional fitness. We're not talking about physical fitness here, because this is all morality comes out of the essence of a person. Okay. And so you have to know the rules. Whose rules are you following? And set the course to continue to follow them. That's what I'm getting out of that. And I may be wrong, because I don't meditate on philosophical stuff all that often, because I have a hard enough time with the other stuff. Okay. Probably should. All right. A Year with Aslan. This is from Prince Caspian. So, the children have wandered into the remains of the throne room in Cair Paravel, where they had reigned as kings and queens of Narnia. That's what it says. So, but I take it that they're children, but they're reminiscing about their lives as royal rulers, but they're in their treasure chamber years later, okay, because it's dusty and everything. And it's disconcerting. They're apprehensive, even though they know it's a familiar place and it has plenty of memories. It's problematic for them, okay? But as they explored, they came across the familiar, and it brought back memories that were pleasant and encouraging. And the chamber is no longer frightening and strange. It becomes familiar a little bit, even though it's drastically changed. All right. And they're looking at it from a totally different perspective, not as the adults that lived there, but as the children exploring. So the question is, why do Edmund, Lucy, Peter, and Susan react as they do to the treasure chamber? Well, because it's strange and familiar at the same time, and it's disconcerting. Okay. Now, what makes something a treasure? It is not the monetary value, but the for lack of a better term, sentimental value that we put on it. The memories that are connected with that particular item or thing gives it value. And in giving it value in that regard, unlike money that has a finite dollar amount, it's usually the more valuable, I'm going to say spiritually, or you know what I'm saying, okay? The more valuable something is to our soul, okay, the more disproportionate the monetary value is to how the value level that you place on it, okay? So, like for instance, I have the first Breyer horse that I ever owned that I got as a child. Okay. It was a gift, so I don't know how much it was, but I would imagine it was probably less than $10. Okay. Because we're talking 50 years ago. Okay. So it's probably fairly valuable now as Breyer horses go, but because of the fact that the person that gave it to me rarely gave me gifts, and it's a fond memory of childhood, and it started me on the collection of horses, um, and cemented my love of horses. It's probably be valued beyond price to me. Okay, so that's a good example of that. Okay, think of some nonsensical item. All right, that just to the average person, well, what is that? Okay, it's a piece of junk to somebody else, but to you, it has value. Okay, um, and you can't imagine it brings a smile to your face, and it's just, that's a treasure. Okay, that's a treasure. All righty, folks. Things were a little chaotic today because of being gone yesterday. We had to go get the dogs from the vet. So, okay. And like I said, I'm babysitting. Oh, thanks, Lori. I think I'm gonna have my lips sewn shut. All right, everybody, let's pray. Oh, the good news is that I haven't gained as much as I've lost, and I still weigh what I weighed in high school. However, when I started at Christiana, I weighed what I weighed in 5th grade. I was just a whole lot shorter. All right, let's pray. Jesus, I live this day for you. Please guide, protect, and help me to love others as you love me. All righty. Have a good day, everybody. Go to church.